you're the first SMMA owner ever. Your why being, the party life, the girls, just the road to riches.
Every single high individual net worth person that I know that makes 400K per month is grinding out hours a day.
Why don't you tell some of the people the most amount of money that you spent in a day? All right, let's get straight into it. So we had a lot of requests from the first video, and a lot of people were saying there were some topics that they wanted to, know a little bit more about you and get to some deep questions. Tora, I know you got some things to get off your chest as well, so let's just get straight into it. First of all,
Let's do it, man.
it's particularly about the lifestyle. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about the lifestyle? I know that you're the first SMMA owner ever to kind of talk about, your why being, the party life, the girls, the road to riches. Why don't you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I think that a lot of people misunderstand the lifestyle. Like what I post on Instagram and what most you won't see a lot of SMMA owners do this, but you'll see a lot of ecom people do this, where they're just posting parties and they're out in clubs and they're out getting these nice dinners, out traveling, etc. The reality is that if they're actually making however much they actually say that they're making, anyone who's making 10K per month, 20K per month, 50K per month is putting in at least 10 hours a day. And I promise you that every single high individual net worth person that I know that makes, up to 400K per month is grinding out hours a day, like 10 to 12 hours. That's a realistic day in a life of an entrepreneur, a realistic day in a life of a successful SMMA owner. And then every once in a while, what I like to do is just go out and party. So, right now I took a vacation in Madrid with Thomas, and we're just out enjoying ourselves, having some fun.
You show us the suite real quick. Show us I mean, I don't know how messy your room is, but can you give us a little 360?
All right, so I'm in the Airbnb, but
Oh, was
like
it Airbnb?
the view is yeah, the views. Hold on, let me open the window. Can you see that?
Yeah, that's kind of tough. Wait, tilt it down a little bit. Don't throw your laptop off the balcony, but yeah, it's nice. Nightlife. And hey, why don't you tell everyone what time is it right over there right now? Because you are grinding.
Bro, it's almost 1 a.m.
Yeah. Grind don't stop. If you
Actually, wait, no, I got the timer on. It's almost 2 a.m.
I love it.
1:40.
I love it. And so, just to dive a little bit deeper in terms of the lifestyle and stuff like that, I do know you do work hard because you work with people from all around the world and stuff like that. So it is this big misconception, but work hard, party hard. Why don't you tell some of the people the most amount of money that you spent in a day, what that was on, what that was on, and what it looks like?
Um, I mean, the most I've spent in a day wasn't technically for me. I bought a watch for someone. That was around 7, 8K.
What was it?
But it was a tutor. But in terms of like for me, the most I've spent, I think, was maybe 2K, 2.5K in one day, and just like shopping, partying, and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. And
Not
like,
not not nothing too crazy.
yeah. I mean, it's still 2K is a lot of money still for a lot of people, just to splurge on one night. So that is a big perspective. In terms of let's talk about your before and after, right? What were your spending habits before? Were you always like a big spender, or like when did you start spending a lot of money?
I always have the same idea where I like to spend money if it's creating some sort of memory with, friends, people I love. So I always think that, money is worth it in terms of spending it if you're creating something that's lasting forever and you're creating a memory that's going to last forever. Yeah. Um, what was the question again?
Nah, you answered it. You answered it. Just like, were you always a big spender? So obviously you're spending it on memories and stuff. I definitely respect it and I 100% agree with it. You can't put a price on time. So you want to make sure that time is, memorable and valuable. The next question that kind of segues us into things. We had a lot of questions in my DMs about the memories and love. So how's that kind of changed for you now that your status is obviously grown?
It's changed for the good and for the bad. I literally just started experiencing people who are just interested in me for money, which is something completely new, but the feeling sucks. And it's something that I have to worry about now if, people are after me or, after my money. So the friends that I came up with when I was like at zero, those are like the real true friends. And in terms of love life, I try and avoid the love life, but there's a lot more attention when you have money, like a lot more. And I'm not entirely sure yet if it's directly because of the money or because of, other external factors like your confidence increased or access or freedom, sorts of stuff that money gets you.
Yeah, for sure. And in terms of just poking the bear, because the audience does want deeper, um, some deeper content. In terms of relationships and stuff like that, and psychology, how do you kind of juggle all that? What have you learned in the last couple of months of, obviously um, partying a lot and experiencing people not necessarily liking you for who you are, but who you are now?
Um, well, as I said earlier, I always try and avoid relationships, but I do have some, I wouldn't even consider them relationships, but like, I'm not sure how I want to say this without, I feel like I'm gonna get flamed, but I just keep it casual, nothing too serious with anyone, just because it ends up not being good for me or for my work, just not being focused, distracted, stuff that occupies my brain stresses me out.
Is that because something that's happened in your past, or is like obviously your business and focus is more important to you now than it was before?
I feel like the more you advance within your business, when you start making more money or when you hit a certain milestone, it doesn't even have to be financial. You take it way more seriously and you prioritize it more. But I had a girlfriend before I had my business, so I never really took that as seriously until it started to seriously stress me out. So then I left her, and I've never really had another serious relationship. Just because I want to try and avoid the stress. It's a lot of stress depending on, the type of person that you are.
Yeah. Do you believe in, like a power couple in terms of like the business space, like kind of like Alex Hormozy and kind of his, not sidekick, but his partner in crime? Or do you not really believe that, whilst building an empire, you can have like a queen with you?
I certainly believe that it's possible. I don't think that it's something that I would want. I would want a woman who is not known, is not popular, and is just kind of like by my side, reserved. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Um, Talk a little bit more about the psychology of things. Are there certain mind games that you kind of have to play now that you're up the top and you're dealing with like either more attractive people, more wealthy people, or more connected people in terms of, building your empire?
So for business, it's way easier to connect with people once you are within their level. um in terms of relationships and females in general, you stop caring about them just because you know that you're valuable and you know that there's thousands of them and they don't really matter. So you start to not care, and that somehow helps you get even more girls. So in some sort of way, I feel like the more money you make, the more confident you get, the less you care about these women because you're more focused on yourself, on your business, and you eventually just start getting more and more.
Tori, I know you mentioned before that you've only been in one relationship. I don't want to pour salt in old wounds, but we have had people ask, why is the case? Like, is that just something temporary, or is it, do you think they'll change in the future, and why?
Right. So I've never ever wanted a relationship, but I eventually had one. It was a good relationship. I really liked her. It was a bit less than a year long, and I've never wanted a relationship since then. Within that relationship, I feel like a lot of people would disagree on how the relationship was. but pretty much, I didn't like her to have any guy friends. I pretty much knew where she was every time. Like this is stuff that she would tell me, like I wouldn't really ask, but she would just let me know. And yeah, it was just overall like a really good relationship. But I feel like not many girls, at least within, in Europe overall, are really like that, at least in Western Europe. So yeah, I've never wanted a relationship again. And I mean, I eventually will want one, but I just haven't found anyone yet.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, everyone's their own man, everyone's their own person. So I definitely respect that. Relationships are tough, but they also, are a blessing, and it might not be for everyone, but for those that can hold it down and stuff like that. Me personally, I definitely think is something that's I
Something
can't
good.
even put words to, you know what I mean? Like I just got lucky. So for me, yeah,
Yeah.
but I understand where you're coming from. It's you got to go through um some bad ones to find out to find the good one. Got to go through some bad apples to find a nice sweet one. But is there anything that you want to add in terms of just your dating life and stuff like that now? Like I said, you said
Well, I think that you're right that you need to like do, like talk to a lot of girls, date a lot of girls. I'm happy that you found your relationship. I do believe in like good relationships, but I feel like I don't want this to come out as, I have a huge ego or anything, but I feel like my value is overall increasing a lot. And so that allows me to add more qualifications towards my future potential relationships, which makes it harder to find a girl who fits into those qualifications, right? And even for someone like my ex-girlfriend, that was already like pretty rare. So
I think the thing that I wanted to highlight here is just honesty. A lot of guys don't like make it very open, like how they want it, what they like, what they don't like. So, I mean, mad respect for you, like owning up to it. I know a lot of people won't agree with it, but I mean, you're your own man, so I respect you for coming out and
no,
saying that on the show.
uh, yeah, man, I'm just 100% honest, straight up front. If they're not up for it, they're not up for it, and we move on. There's thousands of girls, so yeah, it's fine.
Do you think that feeds into confidence? The girls, the money, all that. What would you say to people that like are struggling with any aspects of those at the moment that kind of want that lifestyle?
I think that everyone has confidence generated through different ways. Some people can be like me, where if you're spending like at least $1,000 on a club in one night, then you're gonna feel confident. You're gonna be like, yeah, no one really knows, but you know that you spent that much money on that club. Most females have no uh direct like idea of money and like how it works. They're just like they go to the club and they have no idea, how much these people are actually spending. But the moment you enter a club, and this is just for me, I'm not sure if anyone else can relate to this, but if you're spending a lot of money, you feel very confident and you're just kind of there.
Yeah, you're the guy. I saw the recent night out with Thomas where they put you up on the big screen. So they must have felt powerful, huh? What was that like?
Of course. I mean, it was good. Pretty much only our table knew our names, like no one else at the club did. So, it falls back to the, confidence for yourself, not really like, trying to show off to anyone, but just knowing that you have that there, gives you a sense of value and confidence, obviously.
Let's say you were to, spend a lot of money, but not at a club or not at a party. Where would you spend that money, or where do you like to splurge?
Definitely, I think I like to buy clothes a lot, but I think the most valuable thing that I buy is travel. I like to travel a lot because the moment you start traveling, especially by yourself, and you start seeing how different the world is and how small your little bubble is, it's kind of crazy. And you feel like, damn, like I will never be able to explore the whole of the entire earth. So I feel like most people want to travel as much as they possibly can, right?
Yeah, for sure. I need to get to Madrid and I need to go to Europe. I need to go everywhere, man. I feel like I'm missing out, but like I said, it's that's the best thing about having an online business is you can kind of work from everywhere. I know, we were on the
Yeah.
call yesterday and You did the webinar with Thomas right after the party, actually, or halfway through the party. So work never stops, and that's one thing that I definitely agree on, and stuff like that. I always like to do this again. We're always going to bless people with this. We're going to be giving away some codes to some SMMA Origins programs that Turo runs. You know how it works, like in the last video. Same thing in the description. Is there anything else you want to add, Toro, or get off your chest now that you've had this is your second taste on the weekly drip?
So I think that a lot of men, when you go to a club, you need to have a lot of self-respect and just the confidence of like not wanting to go out there and chase girls and get girls. And a lot of that will eventually lead to them coming up to you asking, hey, like, what's your name, where are you from? And I think that a combination of your confidence and status, as in, you know, a VIP table or your name on the board or whatever, or, you know, a couple of bottles of champagne or vodka or something like that, that will really like help you with that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I feel like sometimes when you want something really bad, like even in business or something like that, like a deal, and you become desperate, it kind of looks worse. You know, you kind of just have to play the game and um, obviously put it out there that you're interested, but things will naturally gravitate towards you if you play it right. So I definitely agree with that on a business level, on a relationship level, on everything like that. Um, but yeah, that's definitely something very powerful, and not everyone really resonates with or gets to hear it from someone like you. The last question I'll leave you with is Mr. P Brain Toro 10 years ago. What is something that you've always wanted to buy, or like something that you're striving for now? Because obviously you've got a bit of money, but I feel like you have bigger goals. Um, what do you want to buy? Like obviously Gary V wants to buy the Jets. What do you want to do?
All right. So from 10 years ago to now, it was mostly clubs, because if you're gonna get a table, you usually split it amongst like 8 people, 10 people, or whatever, and each person would pay like $40. And now it's like, cool, like I can pay the whole table if I want to, and it makes no difference to me now. But back then, those $40, those $30 was like, that was like a lot to spend on a night. So from the past 10 years to now, that's like the main thing that I wanted to buy. For the next 10 years, it would probably be um, a nice car. I'm still deciding on what car, but yeah, I would definitely want a car.
Yeah, I guess your mentality now is like, fuck it, I'll buy the club.
No, I wouldn't buy a club. It's not very good, the business model.
So there you go. Appreciate you coming on, Tara, and talking, deeper into your relationship, the psychology behind it, as well as, just showing a little bit of, who you really are and your lifestyle. I think that's one of the main things is like a lot of the times when we get lost into money or fame or wealth, that we kind of just forget that, me and you are like normal people as well. We just do normal things, just a little bit different.
Facts.
So I appreciate you coming on. And
100%.
like I said, same giveaway. Everything's down in the description. Appreciate having you on, Toro.
Let's do it. I appreciate it, man.